This morning I'd like to draw your attention to verses 31 and 32 of the 12th chapter of Matthew, where Jesus said, "Wherefore I say unto you, all manner of sin and blasphemy shall be forgiven unto men, but the blasphemy against the Holy Spirit shall not be forgiven unto men. And whosoever speaks a word against the Son of Man, it will be forgiven him. But whosoever speaks against the Holy Spirit, it shall not be forgiven him, neither in this world, neither in the world to come." If there is a sin that is so severe that if a person commits that sin, there's no hope of their salvation, neither in this world or the world to come, as a minister of Jesus Christ, I would be derelict in my duty if I did not warn you against committing such a sin. And thus, this morning, I'm going to try to tell you what that sin is and to tell you how you can avoid ever committing it. But first of all, we should look at what the sin isn't. I don't know how many people have come to me through the years who have felt condemned. Satan has lied to them and told them that they had committed the unpardonable sin. And they are desperate. I have, in the many years of ministry, only met one person that I really feel had committed the unpardonable sin. Most of those who have come, tormented by the thought that perhaps they did, I've assured them that they haven't. The very fact that they are concerned about it would indicate they haven't committed it. If you commit the unpardonable sin, you have no concern whatsoever about things spiritual or things eternal. And the very fact that you are concerned or worried is a good indication that you are not guilty of having committed the unpardonable sin. The unpardonable sin, of course, is not adultery. David was an adulterer. The unpardonable sin is not murder. David was guilty of murder. When the prophet Nathan came to David and exposed his sin to him, David cried out, "I have sinned against the Lord." And the prophet Nathan said, "And the Lord has forgiven your sins." David then wrote, "Oh, how happy is the man whose sins are covered. Oh, how happy is the man whose transgressions are forgiven." The unpardonable sin is not causing men to blaspheme God. Paul the Apostle forced the early believers to blaspheme the Lord, and he felt himself unworthy to even be numbered with the apostles because of the way he had persecuted the church. In Mark's gospel, the parallel passage to Matthew here, in verse 28, Jesus said, "Truly I say unto you, all sins shall be forgiven the sons of men, and blasphemies wherewith they shall blaspheme." All sins can be forgiven. However, he went on to say, "But he that shall blaspheme against the Holy Spirit will never be forgiven, but is in danger of eternal damnation." I do not believe that the unpardonable sin is a single act. That is, I don't believe that you could go out this afternoon and commit the unpardonable sin. I don't believe that it is a single act. but I believe that it is a progressive action on the part of an individual. But just what did Jesus mean to blaspheme the Holy Spirit? Looking at the context under which this statement was made, we realize that there was a man that had come to Jesus, and he was possessed of a devil, and as the result, he was blind, he was unable to speak, so that Jesus cast out the devil. The man was then able to speak, he was able to hear, he was able to see. And all of the people marveled, and they said, "Is not this the Son of David? Is not this the Messiah?" You see, Jesus was presenting indisputable evidence that he was indeed that promised Son of David, the Messiah that was to come. Now, the Pharisees, in facing this indisputable evidence, because they had a history of rejecting Jesus as the Messiah, I'm sure that at the beginning, many of them questioned. When they heard of Jesus, they came to see him, they came to see the miracles. And I'm certain that many of them, in seeing that, in their minds began to wonder, could this possibly be the Messiah, the one that we've been looking for? And they began to discuss him among themselves, and some of them came to the conclusion, no, he's not the Messiah, and they sought to dissuade others from believing that. You remember one of them, named Nicodemus, came to Jesus and he said, "We know that you are from God. No one can do the things that you are doing unless God was with him." But every miracle that he performed brought up the question again, could this possibly be the Messiah? Now here's a man, he's possessed by a devil who has caused him to be blind and to not be able to speak, and Jesus heals him. Indisputable evidence that Jesus has the power of God, and they have to explain it to the people. And so they say, well, he's doing it by the power of Satan, by Beelzebub. And that is why Jesus then warned of the sin that has no forgiveness. They were getting close when they start to attribute the works of God to Satan himself. It is an indication that that person is getting close to the line of the unpardonable sin. When Jesus first came on the scene and they watched his works, they had to make a decision, and they decided no. That became their official position, that he was not the Son of God.